Let me turn to waters of the U.S. because this is again an area of extreme concern. I mentioned the wetlands that we have in Alaska. 63% of the wetlands in the entire United States are in Alaska, and so the concern that we have is the expansion of the scope that EPA may regulate will lead to a situation where development of any kind is next to impossible. The smallest development. And it's coming from folks not necessarily associated with the oil and gas industry, but it's home builders, it's farmers, it's energy, it's mining companies, it's the transportation sector. There is major concern across the board. And I know that I'm speaking for not just Alaska when I talk about the various constituencies that are really quite rattled about the application of this proposed rule. Now, you have suggested that these concerns are overblown. At one point, you called some of the issues that have been raised ludicrous. Folks back home don't think it's ludicrous. They are scared to death about what we may see with application of this rule. And you keep using the word clarification, or this is just to clarify. But again, I'm hearing from too many different sectors saying this is not clarification. This is a limitation on our ability to not only move but to breathe. And I guess the question to you today is why should we trust the assessment that this rule is just a clarification when across the spectrum you have different voices, not just in Alaska, but different voices around the country that are saying this is going to increase our costs, it's going to limit our ability to conduct business. How can you convince me that this is a clarification? And then the follow-on question that I'd like you to address is the Ag Committee has been quite loud in its objection. You've suggested that you're working to address some of their issues. But we don't have as much agriculture in Alaska, but we sure have a lot of upset and angry miners, developers. What are you doing to address the concerns that they have raised as well?
Well, let me just begin by saying the reason we're down this road in terms of doing the rulemaking is actually to provide clarification, and let me explain that. It is because the Supreme Court in recent decisions have told us that we need to do a better job at making sure we're doing taking the closest look at the science available to us, and we're ensuring that we are protecting those waters that are most important for all of the virtues of water that we love, which is to provide us drinking water supplies, help us with natural resource protections that we all care about. And I know that this is important not just to folks in Alaska, but throughout the United States. And it is a difficult rule. Everybody is engaged, but I would also indicate that I have just as many constituents, if not more, telling us how important it is to complete this rule because of the lack of clarity, because we know we are not protecting some waters and streams which science tells us we should be more carefully protecting. But this is not an expansion of our jurisdiction. This is a way to focus attention where it's deserved so that there can be increased clarity about what's in and what's not in. Because what we are also seeing is work being done where it's unnecessary to do, because the science can clearly tell us what we should be focusing our attention on and what not. And so we're working very closely with the agriculture community. We have done absolutely nothing to take away the exemptions or exclusions that are in current rules and law, and we have in fact done more exclusions than under current law. So we have to be clearer about what we're saying, as well as being very clear about waters that are important to protect. And that's what this rule is all about. We sought to do this in a guidance, apparently, before I took this position, but the clear, overwhelming message to us was do it in a rule. Give us a chance to comment on us. Let us take a look at it. What we are trying to do is make sure that we're paying attention to the comments. This is not ludicrous, nor is any comment. This is serious business, and we need to get this final rule right, and we understand that, and science can allow us to do that.
Well, and I think you understand that the heart of this debate is this a clarification? Or is this yet that overreach, that
Right.
creep of an agency that so many of us are concerned with? And while your words are articulate this afternoon, I don't think it does much to calm the fears of the farmer, or excuse me, the miner out in 40 Mile, who's worried about whether or not they're going to be able to move forward with their small placer mining activity.